Hello, here we go, guys, and welcome to the battery. We got a little replay we're going to do tonight because a few of our players are out, but we wanted to make sure we still showed y'all something really cool. But before that, we're just going to talk a little bit about, what we're doing here at Nabatri, plans for the future, Dungeons and Dragons, talk about anything. We're just going to hang out, and people are going to drink. Gonna have their beverages, I guess, and just enjoy here and hang out and talk. I want to thank, of course, all our sponsors there. Oh, that's going to be in the video, but thank, of course, our sponsors, D&D Creative Table Design with Todd Putman, wonderful site. I go there all the time. Obviously, if I say it on every stream, but it's no joke. You see my stuff posted there like all the time. Reaper Miniatures, we're blowing up with them. We've got, a boat coming from them, and we're also going to be giving away a boat in the Luke Gygax game, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, Eric is probably pulling out his hair right now, like, my God, why did you say that?
Yeah, it's an actual boat. It's not even a miniature. We're giving away a real boat.
Yeah, it's a real boat, a Grady White. 21 footer Grady White, like my grandfather used to have. No, it's that new boat they just came out with. It's $250 value that we'll be giving that away on one of the streams. I have a good friend of mine, Rich, not Rich the DM that y'all might have remember, torturing the evil team and giving them what they had asked for. But no, a friend of mine that does a lot of painting. So I want to talk to you a little bit, and we'll get into the game itself and what happened and all the crazy stuff. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the future of what we're going to be doing. And we're only going to be talking for about probably about another 20 minutes because the actual replay is going to be starting at 7, so I'll make sure we're off. But one of the things that we're going to be starting here, we're going to be changing the way we do adventures. I'm going to be trying to be even more immersive with the world, giving the people a time, space matrix where they're not jumping, but now if they're out exploring, they can literally say, we want to go north, we want to go south, we want to go east, we want to go west, we want to go back to the town, and now we should be able to do that. The reason I want to do that is I think it'll be more enjoyable for the viewers, I think it'll be more enjoyable for the players, and it will also give them a better sense of their impact on the world itself and the organizations that exist within that world, because right now they were right in the Dale lands, but they're approaching or heading down. They were in Arabel, if you remember, and that's in Coromir. So there's a totally different attitude between those two places. The Dale lands is this hardy people who are independent and rough and everything else, and self-reliant. And then you got the Cormarians, Coromir, which is it's one of the true actual kingdoms of Faerun, one of the few nations that you can call that are a true nation that is there. And of course, their king is King Azun, and he has been ruling for a while. But yeah, I don't want to get too into that. But the bottom line is that we're going to be investing more in a lot more expansive interaction of the world itself and what's going on within the world. So I think that'll be really fun for y'all. And then, of course, in January, we have our game that was going to be having with Luke Gygax and Stefan and Anne and a few, I don't know, the whole kit and caboodle's coming. And we also have, of course, Amy, who used to play on the Evil Team. She's going to be in there as well as a special NPC voice actor, which will be really cool. So if y'all have any questions, by the way, usually I can't answer questions because we are running, I don't know how many people are in here right now, but usually we are always, running a game, so it's hard for me to really know what's going on. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask right now. But there's 2 people in here, so that's probably just us.
Yeah, we have a mix of people, of course, on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, and the majority of people do watch on replays. So probably, for the most part, we'll probably just be yapping, right?
That's cool. So yeah. What shall we yap about your fight with when they went in the episode you're about to watch is actually really cool. They had solved the puzzles of the tomb of the high priest of Set, and then of course they went in there and they had the battle with the 4 mummies. But then on the episode that's coming up, they actually went into the main tomb, and all hell seemed to break loose when they had to fight this actual mummy lord, which I was told by Mako, who is actually sitting in the room now, that I'm a madman for doing that, which I took as a compliment. So calling me a madman for throwing that high level monster against them. But they did well. It went a little rough, but there were some exciting moments in there. I think who was it that went down in that battle? How many people
I went down twice.
A couple of people went down.
Yeah, like who do you want to start with? Because I think Sparrow went down first.
Okay.
Then I think Duncan was next. And then Sparrow never got back up because we reconned it because she couldn't heal.
The mummy bot, yeah.
Yeah, so well, it went down that episode. I won't lie. It was a very rough episode.
I enjoyed playing the mummy. Like, now I don't know how mummies are. Like, I played a bunch of earlier editions and everything. Like Eric has too. He's played even more earlier stuff than I have because he's an old man.
I've been playing D&D since the 1920s.
Yeah, dude's old. He's like older than me, which is, that's really
Not
old.
the 1920s.
Hey, mister, you want to play some D&D, mister?
Oh, man, he single-handedly cured the Great Depression.
You got to say extra, extra. He all about it. Dungeons and Dragons, extra, extra. But yeah, I don't know how.
Man.
Did they even have? I don't remember playing a mummy lord in earlier editions. They even have that?
Not in the monster manual or the Fiend's Folio per se. No, but if you look at certain modules, the DMs, the creators of those modules would, make their versions, kind of like the Strahds, right? Like there's a Strahd or Mega Vampire in any of the modules. I'm sorry, the monster manuals.
I would have thought they would have had something like that, maybe even a 3.5 going back to Dark Sun or something. I mean, that's all about the same.
You would know. Mako would know that.
Oh, Mako's Dark Sun?
Yeah, about 3.5 if they had...
Yeah, there was a mummy lord.
Yeah, see, there you go.
So if I recall in 3rd edition, like it was pretty much just like straightforward vampire, mummy, white, what have you. And then 3.5, the monster manual, they're like, okay, so now you have a vampire, fighter, 10, chain wheeler. Now you have a mummy and a mummy lord. Now you have a white and you have a greater white and you have a greater shadow. And so they tried to, I think they had more tiered options for the monsters to be like, so you liked that mind flayer, well now let's give it some wizard levels, and so that way you have something for lower level players and something to kind of aspire to as a higher level DM for some of your higher level content.
So
I think.
kind of,
Don't quote.
Yeah.
So kind of
it
like
sounds kind of familiar.
So
Yeah,
kind of
in
like
general.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you
This
go,
is
Eric. Go ahead.
The beauty of doing this over the internet. I was just going to say that sounds kind of familiar. I played some 3.5, and yeah, I remember you'd have a certain type of monster, and then you have categories of these monsters, basically to what Paul just said. But yeah, it was, the thing about that battle, the funny thing is it's a complete spoiler. They usually do that after the fact. But if one of us hadn't decided to go cruise the library during the battle, we probably would have done much better. And all things being said, we actually were gonna win that fight. Like he was down to what? It's like a handful of hit points.
He only had 23 hit points left.
Yeah, we would have won.
I think he all would have won. I'm pretty sure. But I actually I don't want to say what happened, but I enjoyed the way that kind of went down. I thought it was cool because something that could have happened like after happened during, and that made it pretty exciting to me. And that's making me excited because we're moving now into like, and Eric and I, we talk about this because I drop all my, I've ruined the game for Eric. He knows a lot of stuff that come in. He's like, damn it. But I have to share my creative juice with somebody. So, but we're moving into like the creative juice. That did not.
That's kind of gross.
That didn't come out right. Yeah, that okay. But but what we're doing now is moving into like, I'm trying to be like Marvel, move into phases. So it's like I've got phase 1 with this enemy and this and this. So all these new things that we're going to be bringing to the table just to make our games all the much more, I think, exciting. And I think it'll be a lot, like I said, a lot better for the players because now the players will truly be able to make like even if they say something like, for example, if they were like, hey, there's this quest offered, and we don't want to go on it, okay, well then you start exploring, you go forward, you keep doing something else, and then later I could always come back and say, oh, maybe they're in town, they hear about something that happened because they didn't go on that quest. So a lot more of their interactions within the world are going to be coming back. It will, like, my only thought is that because there's going to be there'll be combat, but because of the nature of making their actions more impactful on the world, there's going to be more RPing. Because I have to have, oh, you meet somebody and, oh, I know you guys, you did this, or we heard of this, or you didn't do that extra moments. So the quick pacing of the, not quick, but the linear pacing of the narrative where it's like, okay, we move here, move. So now it will be more of a jump around where there is always a centralized, overarching narrative, but they decide to do it, and how long? They can now have adventures where if they say, Tony, we want to go hang in the tavern, that is now available to them. So if they really just wanted to do that all night, they could do it. What did you say?
Asked, before you guys even got on, I totally asked Tony, like when he was saying this, I was like, okay, so like brothels, are they a thing?
Yep.
And he said yes. So guys, I asked a hard question and I got answered.
The hard questions. Is there prostitution in the game?
Yeah, that's all we really want to know, Tony. That's all we really want to know.
These are the things that the people want to know. But yeah, there will be. That's just an element, but more to the fact that after they go to the brothel, maybe I could now throw in, and again, this will slow down them getting to combat or getting to certain things, but it will give it more realism, and that's why I want to try to shoot for more realism. So now if you leave the brothel, maybe the brothel if let's say, okay, we're not going on that adventure, we want to go to the brothel tonight. Don't even want to do the quest. We decide to leave the forest, go back to town, and we're all going to get drunk at the brothel. Okay, brothel could get raided.
Wait, we're going to go to the brothel to get drunk?
I don't. Hey, why? Well, I mean,
but so real quick,
want to get drunk on.
we did ask here actually, right? We said, you guys have questions, let us know. A very generic question, but we didn't really explain it all. Calico Jack, who's actually Andrew, also known as Drew, also known as B. He's got like 50 names. He said only 4 of you today. So yeah, basically we have Duncan Scoops is out this weekend. He's got some, he told us ahead of time, he's got some stuff going on with some friends. And Exile, because of her schedule, can't make it anymore. But we have exciting news, which was a gentleman by the name of Jack Hackenbush from Australia. So he'll be, I asked him, I said, you have an accent, right? He said, yeah. I said, good, then you're in. So we'll have,
yeah,
because we're all, yeah, I'm American. So he's gonna be coming. He's really excited. He does cosplay, super cool guy, and he's gonna be working on a character over the next week or so he can jump in.
And I don't know if that's gonna work though, because his camera's gonna be like upside down.
Yes. So, yeah, no, we talked about that. He has a special harness where he's gonna be from the ceiling.
And all their toilets, all the water goes backwards down there.
Oh man,
Yeah.
and
It spins that way.
Bugs, man. I heard they got like really big bugs down there.
Oh, dude, I lived in North Carolina. They're bigger down there. Let me tell you, the South got some huge. I'll never forget the first year I went down there and I saw a spider.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt you. Outstanding. So there is a game that Tony and I play often on Tuesdays. It is OSR, right? OSR. It's the old school role playing, right? And it is the basic D&D rules, but a little more expanded, so it's a little more playable than the one from 1970.
You're scared all the time.
And so Darvin is here, Tony.
Oh,
a wizard who plays in our group.
Oh my God.
That's Wolfbeard. So thank you for coming, dude.
Hey,
we have
dude.
a lot of fun with him. Yeah.
Should I should use my Shaka voice. Mufanda.
Yes.
You Mufanda, do you know what you did? Darwin, how are you?
That one's just theater of the mind, right? That one's just theater of the mind.
Yeah.
But very quickly, and because I think we need to hear more from Paul and Space, whatever they want to chat about. But that game, first edition is deadly, but OSR it treats you like less than meat. I mean, you're lucky to be alive by the time you finish character creation, And so we literally end every single adventure running out of the dungeon.
It's true.
Yeah, we can talk more about the scenarios some other day, but it's a lot of fun, and we're really having a good time playing with Darvin.
I do want to say though that Exile, and she plays, Scribbles on the evil team when she comes, and then she was playing Luca, and she will be coming back now and then as a guest star. So we miss her, but she's always, when she wants to come back, just like she was doing originally. She was coming in now and then. So she'll probably be doing the same thing, and she'll just let us know. So you'll be seeing her still. And then hopefully Miku, when she finishes up whatever she has to do, maybe she can come back. We don't know. But hopefully that would be great. We all miss Chicken, and she told me she'll miss Chicken as well. So, it was our first mascot character, and it organically happened, which was pretty cool. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
You can't give us pets and then not, we're going to get attached to them.
Yeah.
Hey, if you gave me a dog, I'm going to keep, I don't care about any of my teammates. All I want is my dog.
Yeah, you can't give us Chicken and then take it away. That's just wrong. So I'll ask both Mako and Space, and y'all can decide who goes first. What are the things on the last game or in general? What got y'all into Dungeons and Dragons? Would you say?
Mako, do you want to go first?
Sure. For me, it was the Diablo 2 Collector's Edition box set.
Good game.
It had a Diablo 2nd Edition little module with a set of dice. And a friend of mine in the small Pennsylvania town I grew up in would run D&D games for his immediate friends and family. So I started up with them, got to playing a bit. And then 3rd edition came out. I bought heavily into 3rd edition. I started running home campaigns with friends from high school. And I would drag our living room table out to our driveway, and we would play for 2-3 days at a time. And the cops would be driving up and down the little one road town almost kind of setup. And he'd just be like, okay, well, nerds being nerds, I guess.
Hope it didn't rain.
No, it was great. And yes, we had these marathon game sessions. And then when I got into college, 3.5 came out, and Living Greyhawk exploded. And I was with a group called Cepheid Variable there, a huge nerd club at Texas A&M. And I had buddies in the Corps Cadets there, and we all played, and it was paradise, the best gaming I've ever had. So yeah,
the best?
Yeah, well, I was a little younger.
I'm joking, Paul.
Oh, you're definitely one of the all-time greats, but
it's all good.
Nothing beats the enthusiasm of youth when it comes.
You never forget your first love. I get it, Paul. It's like when Picard talks about the Stargazer. It's that was his first. Yeah, if you're not a Star Trek fan, you have no idea what that means. But that was the first ship that Picard captained, and he truly loved it. So, and aren't you a writer as well, Paul? Do you you're writing fantasy or something, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, yes, sir. So I, on the one hand, I have a war bio from my time in Afghanistan. I'm really trying to expedite that one. It's less fun to write because I lived it and it's boring and I know how it ends. But especially with the whole pulling out of Afghanistan right now, culturally speaking, I think we're in a place where that kind of story, people are interested in seeing that from the ground level. I mean, we know the grand strokes, the country building level of it. But what about that individual soldier on the field? And I have a pretty neat story to tell about that. So I'm prioritizing that right now. But I also have my true passion. It's how to explain it? Sort of like a Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, almost epic. I think I'll have to. I owe you a word count on that, so I'll go look that up while Sparrow's talking. But yeah, I'm like hundreds of pages in, and it's just like I can't succinctly get this idea out because it's just there's so much world building and so much character development and it's amazing.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling of having to constantly come up with a narrative.
Yeah,
it gets
someday,
it can get stressful.
Once I finish it, I'm gonna shop for a literary agent. We're gonna try and find a big publisher for that. It's not about the money. It's about the legacy, really. To put my story out there, have people hear it, and want to be a part of that world. That's what I'm really looking for.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll have to all read that book. We all get a free copy, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Cool. So
if you want to send me the free copy before you go to the publisher, I'll take care of it.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, I have a couple like beta readers.
That was a joke about me like stealing it from you. Sorry.
I got the joke. I got it.
That was a plagiarism joke.
I got it.
Here's my sense motor roll. Oh, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Cool. Well, good. Yeah, that's great, man. That's really exciting.
So, Space, how did you get into? I mean, I know you kind of just started D&D, like we're one of your first groups, so you don't really know how crappy I am. But it's good that you don't.
No, I think I figured that out pretty quickly. You are very. I mean, you guys don't know him behind the scenes.
But
as a tyrant.
Well, yeah, I'm Iron Fist, man. But what got you into Dungeons and Dragons?
For me, I'm a writer. I like to write, and
everybody's writing here.
Yeah, I love telling stories. I think I've loved telling stories ever since like high school, and just thinking of characters and thinking of situations and scenarios to put them in, and it's like this. Like I can rant about this because that's just how my mind is. But I think for me, it's just I love telling the story, and I love making characters that people can root for. That people can say, "Hey, you're an asshole, but you're kind of cool at the same time." And I think with that in mind, I'm so glad that I found my other friend Thomas, because it's just like D&D for me is just like writing one big story with you guys. We all have different characters, but honestly, this is one of the highlights of my week.
Oh, don't make me cry, man.
Agreed.
I mean, listen, I'm not as well. Like I'm trying to write more. I'm not as as established as Mako is. I literally just finished my first chapter, that I've been working on for 3 months.
Well, that's fine. I'm sure Mako would tell you, creativity isn't an exact time thing. Some days it's gonna pour out of you, and then some days you're sitting there like, man, what am I gonna? I mean, dude, I don't know how many times I've talked to Eric, and God knows he probably sees my numbers like, oh God. Especially he knows it's gonna probably be like Tony's stressing if I'm calling him the day of the game or the day before. Like today I called Eric and I was stressing a little. See, there's always that. He knows. So I get it, man, what you're talking about, having to find that. It's hard to find that narrative. And just like Paul was saying, Mako, it can get a little bit rough. But
honestly, you just have to be so hungry for it. Like the world is so full of distractions and competing priorities and 1,000,001 reasons not to write. So you just almost have to get angry and just be like, am I a content consumer or a content creator? And how important is that to me?
It's kind of like working out. Maybe you just have to really go.
Absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
Speaking of, we're talking about real life. Was Darvin again from our game? He said, "I think normal life is boring."
It is. Why do you think we play Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly why we play it. Well, other reasons too, but yeah.
I think, didn't I call you guys weirdos last week or something? I was like, you guys are weirdos. And that's how I hang out with is weirdos, because normal people bore me. It's like,
Well, the Dungeons and Dragons community tends to be a very accepting community, because definitely back when Eric and I were coming up, it wasn't as mainstream as it is now. So, like, when you said you played Dungeons and Dragons, it was almost like, you were showing garlic to a vampire. People would just, oh, what? It was literally girl deterrent. I mean, if you met a girl, hey, I play Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I gotta go. I got a boyfriend.
Yeah, they're like nerd. You're a
Yeah,
nerd.
it was female deterrent, like anti girl spray. You know, just spray. You got, when you played Dungeons and Dragons, the first item you get in your box back in the 80s was a +10 Ring of Loneliness. It was like you were guaranteed you gonna leave that thing on for years. But now it's a much more. It was always accepting the people in that community because they tended to be, again, picked on because maybe or made fun of because of their hobbies. So when you met those people, they were like, no one made fun of anybody. It was just like everybody's accepting, which was so wonderful. And I think that's one of the things I still love about Dungeons and Dragons is, I mean, everybody has a story or two, maybe a bad experience, but I would say 99.9% of the time, you're going to meet people who are really good and cool and just enjoy having a good time with.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Are there more girls playing now than when you first started?
Oh, God,
So
yes.
many more.
There was
Women.
none. A girl back in the 80s playing Dungeons and Dragons was like a unicorn. You heard about them, but you never saw them.
Yeah, we would set traps
Yeah.
for women. I think that's called kidnapping
Traps.
now.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and we try and get them to play. Like people bring their girlfriend in for the one friend that had a girlfriend or
One friend, and he wouldn't have one
somebody-
after that.
yeah, or you talk about it, But yeah, it's so many more women now. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, you got
it
some
was-
major people who are women, like Satine Phoenix. I mean,
Yeah.
major players in
So-
the industry.
Yeah, it was only 10
Wow.
years ago too that it was still pretty much a taboo to be playing D&D, and at least not compared to the 80s. But I remember we had this get together with a bunch of family, and we're in this hall, and like 3 different people of my family were all kind of, oh hey, what's going on? Start talking. What's going on with you? I said, oh yeah, I'm still playing Dungeons and Dragons. I started talking about it, and I shit you not, like all 3 of them, mid-sentence as I'm talking, they're all going back different directions. They all like just, it's like a massive burrito fart or something. Like they all just, they were gone. So, but now, I mean, now it's cool to play D&D, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Like, not to
I'm
name
happy
Satan.
because I have a huge creative out. I like building the Dwarven Forest. A lot of people I've heard. I talked to the people who play D&D, and I get it. Some people do not like the Dwarven Forge terrain. Not because they don't think it's awesome, because it's just so fucking time consuming to build. It's like, especially if you're messing with those mountain pieces, man. Oh boy. Erenthor Mountains is an awesome set. I highly suggest if you're in the Dwarven Forge, which, I should do a whole show just telling you about stuff to buy and what pieces to buy. But Erenthor Mountains is a great versatile pack. But man, the pieces are unlike some of the other stuff they sell. They're not uniform. So you have pieces that are shaped, for example, like this, right? Or this, which is kind of uniform, an L. But almost everything is not uniform shape, so building with it can be very tedious. So unless you really enjoy building and doing that kind of stuff, it can get rough. I forgot where I was going with that, but
It's like stacking rocks.
well, kind of.
It's only as complicated as you want it to be. So, for
That's
example,
true too.
I'm watching after my my wife's grandmother, and she's having some memories, some cognitive issues. So I brought over some Dread Hollow Forest, just the big old forest tiles, the big old 4x4s and the
Yeah, those are easy to build with. Pretty much.
She's just dropping things down there, throwing up some escarpments. I put some trees up for her, and she's great, looks wonderful, ready to game, But
The dungeons pieces are pretty easy to build with because they're like walls or floors or that's it. You can tell how it's just a matter of you creating the shape. Yeah, I see the time. You just have to create the shape that you want. So that's pretty cool. But the stuff, like I said, stuff that can get kind of weird, and you wouldn't think so, but castles, like the castle pieces.
castles are tough.
Yeah, you know, you think it wouldn't be that hard, but when you really start getting into it and you want to build like a unique castle, like I built one that's a picture like has multiple like parapets and all this stuff, and it looks like basically like the Snow White castle, like a true fantasy castle, and man, that can be rough because you're trying to fit everything, and then you want the interior walls for them to be able to walk through the walls in case there's a battle inside. And part of the problem with me when I build, I am so anal that even if no one sees it, even on like this freaking tower, for example, like I have to have the stairway channels open. I have to build it as if it will be played with, or it messes with me. I'll sit there like just irked about it. Like even like the fort I built, like right now, I'm looking at it right now, I'm about to fix it. This little piece had fallen off, and y'all aren't even looking at it. But stuff like that, it messes with my mind, and I think that's because I enjoy it so much. But a lot of DMs.
But then again, what if a player is like, "Hey man, I'm gonna climb up into that room and I'm gonna go through there," and then you have to be like, well,
Yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen. I'm like, what if that one player's like, Tony, while we're talking to this NPC, I decide to sneak into the shadows and I want to go upstairs and blah 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 blah. So that ties back into the new type of style. Not, I wouldn't say new style. I'm just expanding your immersion. That goes. Whereas before I would have shied away from that, not because I can't do it, but because it sometimes might slow down the pacing. Like instead of moving on to the next cool epic thing, we're now might be bogged down doing this smaller thing, but it will be more realistic because now you'll have to deal with you sneak upstairs, there's guards. Now you got to now you might have to escape. Now you have a bad name in this area. Now you have to deal with it. There might be whole adventures that come out that we're not even doing the other stuff, but that's life. So that goes right back. So if someone did sneak up there, nowadays I'd be prepared and I'd be like, all right, and all this good stuff. But it would all happen organically. I'd have to throw in the initiative and all that stuff, and then we probably wouldn't get to whatever we're doing that night. But that's the realism of it all. I guess y'all didn't get a chance to go fight the monster. But we're going to get going.
Jack had a question in the chat.
We have one more question. We have time for one more because we only got 5 more minutes.
Next time I play with y'all, I play a monk. Well, it's like Silhouette. I was actually really surprised with how effective she was with her monk, both in the terms of mobility and damage output. So, I wrote off monks as kind of just a throwaway class, but she did some really impressive things with it. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is a path to brokenness as a monk.
Any character can be good if you have a fun player. I have specifically designed broken characters. People who are 60, like I use the I'm gonna say this real quick. I use the venerable rule in one of, and I use this in one of Rich the Evil DM's games. Okay, I freaking made myself. I took a -3 to my con and a -3 to my strength, but I got a plus to my intelligence and a plus to my wisdom. And I played an old man who's like 60 some years old, a vampire hunter. So to me, sometimes playing a brick character or a weakened character can be fun because now you have these extra elements that came out in that game that I played with Rich, man. Dude, it was great because my old man did have certain old things that he did, and he was always the wise person that knew the answer. So I look at all characters like, if you look at them from a material standpoint, yeah, I get what you're saying, that some characters are always going to do more damage. But from fun play aspect, I can have fun with anything. Once I develop a good personality, that's the most important thing for me, is finding that personality for my character. But we are going to... Well, go ahead.
I was going to say really quick, when it comes to characters, I think, especially with a group, the big part, I think role-playing, like you said, and then the other is there's a lot of room for you to not be great because the more min-max guys will pick up the slack and you can do some kind of cool little things and have moments. So yeah, as long as your character's not so broken that you're a detriment to yourself. So
strength might be rough.
Even Cutter is not built optimally. He's got the higher dex and the lower strength and these other elements, and I took a very much of a support role kind of subclass instead of being something that could because he could actually be taken out by most of the people on his team, even though he's the guy with the biggest mouth. But it's a lot of it's a lot of fun playing him, and also you're not the same, right? Everyone's got the barbarians with the 18 strength or the 20 strength, right? Like, so yeah. Oh, so anyway.
I do
I
min max.
Game, right?
Yeah, I gotta go. I do min max in PC games, so I won't lie. When if it's just me by myself solo, oh yeah, I'm gonna boost the shit because it doesn't matter. Then I'm just playing a video game, so there's really no RPing. It's just
one thing to add real quick.
stacked.
So I looked up my my manuscript. I'm at 282 pages with 132,453 words.
Woo!
So
That's a little
where
bit.
I'm at.
Wow.
All right, well, we're going to have to wait for Mako to author that and become the next R.A. Salvatore, which I actually have a signed book from him. I had to drop that. So stay tuned, folks. In a few minutes, Restream should be automatically starting our replay of the game, that epic battle and fight with the Mummy Lord from the last good session. So stay here, and I'll be hanging out in chat as well. All right, see y'all later, and it should be starting in about 3 minutes, the replay. Bye-bye.
Have fun.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, appreciate you.
See you later, guys. I gotta get back to writing now.
Oh, I got to go turn off the stream because JC walked inside the house. I'll be back.
Good thing this isn't live.
Right. Oh man. Are you gonna do? Oh man, I thought he was gonna do a special effect